Alright, so here we are in the kitchen. I have three additions here. There's two types of hops. These are pellet hops. Basically what they are, they kind of look like rabbit food. They're hop flours that have been crushed up and put in pellet form. They're a little more potent than whole leaf, so I'm using them just because they were cheaper. So I have those for the first edition. This is the bittering edition. This is a varietal called Centennial. It's got this really citrusy aroma flavor as well. And these actually complement that really well. These are both whole leaf hops. See if I can find you an intact cone here. Kind of look like this. This isn't a whole flower, but they come in this kind of cone. This one actually is a cone that's been crushed. But whole leaf hops are, you need a lot more of them to get the same effect. So just to put this in perspective, this is an ounce of pellet hops, and this is an ounce of leaf hops. So you see I got my entire container full. So they take up a lot more room. They're not necessarily easier to use. So you can hear my baby in the background probably. She's yelling at me, saying, hurry up. Anyway, first, second, third. This is going in for a full hour. This is going in for 15 minutes. This is for flavor. This is going in for 5 minutes or so, just for aroma. And all these hops are going to stay in the kettle while the beer, or stay in the vessel while the beer actually ferments. All that's really going to do is it's going to give it a little bit of extra time, contact time with what will then become beer. Kind of keeps those flavors in there. Other than that, we're pretty much just going to be adding these in as time goes on. So what I will do, as we get close to boil, there's this thing called the hop break, which I'll show you. So that will happen. I'll add my hops. And then I'm not going to show you the rest of the boil because realistically it's the same thing over and over again. It goes on for an hour. At certain times I put in additions. But what I will do, I'll show you one more thing that I do need to do. And we're actually going to take a walk outside so I can show you. Now, at 15 minutes, what I actually have to do, you can probably hear my burner, it's very loud. It sounds like a jet engine. We're getting on our way here. So what we're actually going to do, with 15 minutes left, I just covered the camera, sorry. With 15 minutes left, you have to actually chill the beer down. It's cold out today, which helps, but I use a chiller to help facilitate that process, because the quicker you cool the beer, the better your beer is going to be in the long run. So I'll show you what I use for a chiller. I use this thing right here. Anyone that's ever seen a still, it looks very similar. It's a 25 feet of copper tubing coiled up with these hoses on the end. So this is actually a garden hose fitting. So what I'll end up doing is this will go in the kettle at about 15 minutes. It'll stay in there just to sanitize it. And then this is going to get hooked up to my hose. My groundwater is really cold right now, so it shouldn't take too long. But basically, the hose water is going to flow through here. It's going to go all the way through the copper tubing. This is immersed in the liquid, and it'll cool it that way. While this is happening, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be recirculating. I'm going to be draining this kettle down into I'm going to switch these. This is going to go into the inlet, and I have an outlet hose that's going to go back up into the kettle, so it's going to recirculate constantly. So hopefully it won't take as long as it normally does to actually cool down. That's the plan. We'll see if it works. I had a big trouble recirculating last time. It's trial and error. If I don't recirculate, I don't recirculate. No big deal. Anyway, we'll catch up when we do the first hop edition.